my humble residence from February 2024 to August 2024. This is where easily I could pop right. This was where I stayed 8 years ago. I'm gonna show you up close where I used to sleep.
And working on jobs for extra cash.
I cleaned all this out. It was all this was a jungle. All these storm drains I keep clean. I piled all this rock, got all the weeds out.
But Keith says his life hasn't always looked like this.
I was the firstborn grandchild of both sides of the family, both of them wealthy, college educated, part owners of a bank.
When he moved from Illinois to Maryville in high school, Keith said the trouble began. He served in the military.
I was what they call in the Navy a critical care specialist. I was a hospital corpsman medic, but because I was so good, I just kept plateauing up.
Then moved to Louisiana.
New Orleans and went to culinary school at the Mediterranean Institute down there.
But soon, his struggles with substance use got in the way.
I really hit bottom, started drinking, started just not caring. I had no soul. I was in so much pain, so much torrent. I'd gone from Mr. Everybody, everything, unlimited to absolute nothing. And it sucked. Did a lot of cocaine every day. I did more drugs. And sold all my stuff that I still had here and there.
Eventually, he lost his home and most of his belongings.
Every time, one step forward, 3 steps back. Lost my car, my health, it just, clean and sober, and then you got debt and no vehicle, nobody wants to hire you, you've got a shoddy work history of that, no references, and when you're paid, it's usually very basic pay. You can't ever save. You're trying to replace stuff that you've lost, you need, just basics.
Disheartening might be a good word for it.
Like Keith, Scott Wilcoxon also knows what it's like to be homeless.
I've been in counseling all my life because of the depression and everything. We didn't have much money, so any free counselor the school system would throw at us or whatever, and they would see, like everybody else sees, that, oh, I'm an intelligent guy. He said, you're smart. You just keep trying, and it'll get better, and things will work out. Well, by the time, I ended up homeless in Sevierville, I was done with all that.
After losing one job after another, Scott spent 3 years living under a bridge.
I was ready to die under that bridge, if it came to that. The word really is hopelessness. There's just no hope anymore, so why bother?
But 13 months ago, Scott moved to Knoxville and says he's found some hope through a shelter where he now lives.
It's made all the difference.
I spent a day with both men to see what their lives look like.
I'm headed out. Samantha and I are going on tour. It's the gut of this place. I've done a lot of drinking and drugging. It's Desolation Boulevard. It's America right now.
We passed through a homeless encampment.
I guess being an old guy would really sometimes blows me away is the openness with which they consume, their drugs or, the needles, everything. It just, they don't even try and hide it. And I know when I was reaching the bottom and was smoking crack cocaine, I didn't want anybody to know. I hid it, The irony is, I thought I was better than them. We're both homeless. What a mixed up guy I was. Thought I was righteous.
As we walked, Keith pointed out places he's lived. One location, a shelter.
So I just showed you some clips from YouTube of different states, different cities that have homelessness. And it's rampant. It's all over the place. And a lot of, and me included, can't comprehend how that can happen. And it's basically not, let me turn a light on here, see if that helps. That basically comes from making wrong choices, not good choices, let's put it that way, not good choices. And I think back when I was with my first husband, my children's father. We had a nice home. We had to rent it. Of course, naturally, we both worked. And I don't know what went wrong with him. I mean, of course, I do know. I mean, he was an alcoholic. And he wanted, and who, God knows who what went through his mind. He used the excuse that he wanted to find the lost Dutchman's gold mine. Well, I think it was because he wanted to go out and run around cheating and drinking without me knowing about it. So he took us out to the desert, went to all the trouble buying tents and everything that it took for us to live out there. Make sure we had cold water and our food, and we cooked over a fire. And it just, why didn't I jump up and do something about it and say no? I'm not gonna. Well, again, it's me and 3 kids, and I'm no family around. So I basically had to go along with it. So yeah, I was homeless. We were homeless because he chose for us to be homeless. And he would, after work, stop off at the bar and round up his women and whatever, and thinking I'd never find out about it, but lo and behold, I did find out about it. But that's when the process started for me to leave him. And I got a job, and and started going to work and doing what I had to do, and left him. But you look at, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of homeless people. A lot of them are on drugs, and they get like that because, first of all, a lot of them weren't raised right, but there were a lot of them that were raised right. And I can't for the love of me understand how that happens. Now, I've made some stupid choices in my life and things like that, but never got into drugs. I did drink a little bit, but I wasn't an alcoholic, thank God. But a lot of these people that are out here homeless, so these clips that I showed you, a lot of them are very intelligent people. But a lot of them think they're intelligent, think they're smart and whatever, but they made wrong choices. They didn't pay their rent. They didn't, they'd get mad and quit their jobs. They'd get on drugs because they couldn't handle life. Just many, many different reasons why. And I don't profess to know the answer because I'm not in these people's shoes. I'm not in their mind. I'm not in their position. But I do know this much, that after me and my kids had to go homeless because of one person decided that's the way it was going to be. From there on out, when I left him, I kept a roof over my kids and myself head. And always made sure I paid the rent first and foremost, whether I had any money left over for anything else or not. And that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. That if you can keep your rent paid, that's more important than anything. But a lot of people now, I dealt with my sister, and she had this attitude. Now she ended up getting a loan and buying the house that she was renting, and she had 2 kids at home, and they weren't little babies or nothing like that. And she worked doggone hard, but she smoked, and what was one of the important things to her was her cigarettes. Well, and food, made sure good food, not just cheap food, good food for her kids and herself, and of course her cigarettes. And if that ended up meaning to let her mortgage go, that's what she would do. Well, she ended up getting herself in such a pickle, and that she so far back on her mortgage that she couldn't pay. That was it. And then, of course, she decided somewhere in there, instead of working for a company, she was gonna do private home health care, which, by the way, she didn't take out taxes or take out for Medicare or for Social Security or anything like that. And it kept on and on and on. It just escalated to where she ended up losing. She let the house go. And me and well, her one daughter was up and gone and married. And her son was left, and he was well over a teenager. He 18 or more. And she walked away and left us to handle everything in the house because we were living there. Well, here's how God works. I was in the process of buying a trailer at a trailer place, and looking for a place to park it, which I had gave you and that trailer that I showed you in that other video is the one I bought. But it was not much nicer than what it is now. But the bank, not the bank, the bank sold her house, and a real estate person come by and said they would give us, him and I, $500 if we had everything out of there within a week. And we did. And they paid us. That helped me finish off my trailer. So she ended up homeless after that because she got took off to Florida. Bad choice. On what, $500? Got down there and still making bad choices. Well, she had a brother in Tennessee, so she turned around, come back, and went to his place. And then of course, now here she is on assistance and stuff because she turned 65. Well, she retired when she turned 62. And she didn't have a bunch of points or whatever in her Social Security because she was working for herself. Bad choices all the way around. But she's not homeless now. She was for a bit. not sleeping on the streets because she had enough friends that would help her. Then one day she said when she was getting older and heavier and tired her that she just couldn't work no more. She said, I can't work no more. I said, well, then you've only got one option. She never liked having help from the government, any kind of assistance. But I said, well, that's what you have to do then. So that's what she did. She's in low-income housing now. But it's like, I don't understand a lot of people's thinking. That's just like people that get hooked on drugs. I have been down and out in my lifetime. I've been on depression medicine and different things like that. And I'm dumber than a box of rocks. I really am. Or I was dumber than a box of rocks in my past. But never one time did I say, oh, I'm so miserable and I'm so down and out. Let me try some cocaine. Let me try this. Let me try that. First of all, I don't think I would have got addicted because I don't have that addictive gene or whatever. But when people know, and this is what I fail to understand, when people know that something that they take is going to make them addicted to it, or could possibly make them addicted to it, a one-time thing, they take it and they get addicted for what? A few minutes, maybe half an hour of euphoric feeling in your brain? That I don't understand. No. Don't even get it near me. Why would you do that when you know full well that there's a possibility that you're going to get addicted to it, and then there goes your life? Definitely going to end up homeless at some point. And then of course, and then there's the people out there that have gotten evicted because they couldn't pay their rent, and or they tore the house all up, which, like I was saying earlier, people have no respect for other people's property. And they get jealous, for one thing, that this person they think has to do nothing and just collect money off of them. That's not true. If you're going to be a landlord, there's plenty of stuff that you have to do in order to earn that renter's money. First of all, they just don't go out and spend it. They have to put it aside for repairs and stuff like that, and it takes them a while to get that built up once they get started. But people that'll tear up other people's property, I do not understand that. And then they end up out on the street. So you tell me. So, look at those clips, and they were just short clips, and they didn't show the whole totality of what's out there. And not only that, these people have the city moves them, makes them move every week or so. They have to gather up all their junk that they've collected. Now there's another thing I don't understand. You're going to be homeless. Why do you want all that stuff? Why do you collect all that stuff? Buggies full of stuff, and I think for some of them, they sell some of that stuff. Some of it is their clothes and stuff, and maybe their tent and everything, but why not just pay your rent in the first doggone place and work towards buying your own little home someplace? There's many avenues out there where people say, well, I can't get a loan. Maybe not, but there's people out there that will rent for you to own your home. You have to hunt for it. You have to be diligent. Be intentional. Pay your rent. If you've got family that's willing to help you, like I have here, set my camper, and I paid for it. It's paid for, but I sit here and I pay them for the electric and the privilege of me sitting it here on my daughter and son-in-law's property. Why would you not take advantage of that if that was a good option for y'all? But no, everybody wants to stay mad at one another. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. No, I wouldn't do that. And then, of course, and then you got family that don't want their other family members living there like that. So that you can't fault the people that would like to do it, but the other family members won't let them. But again, how many of you could live like that? How many of my subscribers and the ones that's watching this video could live like that? Car would be a little bit easier. Van would be a little bit easier if you've got a little bit of an income coming in. And the people that have jobs that are out there living, people that are on fixed incomes that are out there living, they've got it a little bit easier than those out there that are living in tents and stuff and have no income coming in. But tell me how you would handle not being homeless. Remember, a merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit will dry up your bones. Remember that. Do not, I repeat, do not let society and other people and other things in your life get you to the point where you just give up. I'm not going to pay my rent. I'm not even going to try to make my house look nice for me to live in and take care of myself excellent. Don't let yourself get to that point. Man, if somebody offers you drugs, say, get the hell out of here. And if you have to leave people behind that do that, then leave them behind. You're important. So, and remember, if you believe you can, if you believe you can't, you're right. And if you believe you can, then do something about it. But here's where I'm going to change up the scenario. If you believe you can't, then start going within yourself and why? Why do I believe I can't? Start asking questions. Who said I couldn't? Change your way of thinking to I can. I believe I can do all things through the Creator within me, through the Christ within me. You all have a great day now. Love y'all.